Hello, this is Dancingbear, your chosen autistic prince.
And I'm just Tom.
Not Koala. We're not even going by that name anymore.
Fine, I'm Koala.
So, you had a good week?
I have had a good week. Let's jump right into this.
Yeah.
Is there any news-worthy things you want to talk about?
Regarding.
Oh, that reminds me.
Go on.
We have had another death in nerd culture, slightly.
Oh dear, I don't think I know about this.
Mainly for, I guess, only a certain amount of people. If anyone watched the original Power Rangers...
When I was a kid, but go on, yeah.
Emperor Zed?
Oh,
He died age 70.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a bit sad.
Oh,
Many
yeah.
people... A lot of people don't realise the level of famous people that were in Power Rangers. Breaking Bad guy. What's his name?
I haven't watched Breaking Bad for years.
Yeah,
so...
you know the bald fellow with glasses. I'm the one who knocks.
Oh, he's also notoriously known as well for being playing the father figure, Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes.
I did know his name, but Bryan Cranston, I want to say.
I think, Bryan Cranston.
Please correct me in the comment section if I
He was
mispronounced
in
that.
the original Power Rangers, and then they brought him back for that reboot movie, and he's the head in the jar, essentially.
Is that him?
Yeah.
That isn't what from the original Power Rangers. Is that him?
No, in the original Power Rangers, he's just half the monsters in the costumes.
Oh wow!
And for the reboot, the movie, which they wanted a 7-movie deal, and they weren't happy with it. Which the reboot Power Rangers, I watched, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but it was like they were scared of how crap Power Rangers was back in the day.
It was.
Like they played the original theme tune for about 5 seconds, and then it's like someone got embarrassed and quickly turned it off.
Oh no!
Interesting thing about Bryan Cranston, if we're saying his name right, Malcolm in the Middle, all the weird stuff they made him do as the father, he's really doing that. And some of the episodes got to the point, what can we put in the script that we know he will not do? He really did drink raw beef. He really did do the roller skating. And when he saw it in the script, he went and trained for like 2 weeks beforehand because he wants one day someone to put something in the script that he is not prepared to do. And apparently the man will do nearly everything, including...
Great guy, man. He's such a great
including shaving his head completely bald.
Oh, wow. He's such a phenomenal guy. And if it suffices to say, I think it's safe to say he's one of them guys. I have not seen him in a role where you just get the impression that the man... the actor behind the character who's portraying it is you just get the impression he's down to earth. Is that just me or?
Yeah, even when he's in something like 2014's Where's My Wife, a movie featuring Godzilla.
Oh no!
It was. I love Godzilla movies. I haven't seen the newest Godzilla movie. I grew up watching them.
Right.
I do want to watch it. I'll probably watch it when it comes out. But that was an awful movie. But saying that. It's got a brilliant sound design.
Wow, fair enough.
Godzilla's, if there's a clip I always play every now and then when it's like when someone's like, "Are you alright?" or "When you're mad," I just send them the clip from that movie where Godzilla stands up, roars, and blows up a street.
Wow. So, do you know any other news?
I do. For those interested, The Matrix that's coming out.
Yes, I never actually read the article you sent me.
In November of this year, November 3rd, I think it is. Someone can double check that. One of our little interns, now that we've made it big.
Oh no, don't say stuff like that, bro.
No, for anyone interested, they can look it up. But all the Matrix comics that were hard to get hold of or only released digitally are actually being reprinted and remade by the Wachowskis. They've reopened their own printing comic press, which they shut down as part of their company, to basically release a big collected editions of all these Matrix comics, which are side stories and things happening behind the world and world building, and including one which was infamous in the same way as, if anyone knows, the recent-ish controversy with Batman Damned, where there was a comic and it was released to tie into the first movie, and Fox?
I think it's Fox, yeah.
Fox said, "Oh, that's great. What we'll do is we'll print it out and we'll hand it to people who come in and see the movie." And then one day, after I think it's maybe 2 weeks of them handing this out, great, people getting free comics.
Wow.
The controversy was, in one of these pages, there was a human penis. And instantly Fox were like, "Oh my god!" So they recalled, they cancelled, and they destroyed all they could.
Oh,
which means there weren't many of these out. Well, now
Yeah.
you get your chance to see this.
Interesting.
The comic, not just exclusively the...
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, everyone knows rare comics, they can go for hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, absolutely. What I also wanted to bring up as well, and I don't think you're a huge fan of this, but speaking of trailers and things coming up, I have recently just seen the latest Walking Dead season 10, the trailer to it.
I went off Walking Dead at the pivot...
Negan story arc, I want to say.
Was
it just the start of the Negan story arc?
I saw Glenn. Oh boy, he's still alive! Look at him trying to twitch. I don't know what accent that is.
That just came out of nowhere, but go on.
I do love, like, I've still got friends that watch it. I might get back into it because I do love Negan as a villain.
Yeah, well, he was in Tekken, wasn't he? They put him into...
Yeah! Like...
I don't know why I find that so funny, but...
I find it funny because they put Negan in Tekken when he's more of a fit for the new Mortal Kombat game.
My brother said something very similar to that, because I just had a very similar conversation.
They could have given him the... What would they call it? The Glen? But no.
Oh, what does he say when he hits Glenn? Because his eyeball comes out and he's like...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert, 10 seconds. If you don't want... I mean to say, if you haven't watched it at that point, come on, what are you doing with your life? Sorry, Koala,
yeah.
But... Yeah, we're talking about referencing a scene a good few seasons back. But yeah, when his eyeball comes out of his socket and goes, damn, taking it like a champ.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, Jesus.
I assure my listeners I'm not that cynical. It's just the way they went around that scene. I don't enjoy violence to that extent. I don't. I don't.
Oh.
When I first watched it, I think I've got to...
But when I first saw
I didn't like it.
When I first saw it, it was like,
yeah.
No!
Well, you got
Glenn!
Yeah.
No!
Wait, no, seriously, you've touched on something there. 'Cause
it's like...
I was binge watching it with
Abraham.
my mum and dad.
Meh.
Yeah, I was binge watching it with my mum and dad, so I was invested in these characters. So you've got to take yourself back into that sort of frame of mind when Negan was just debuting. You know, essentially, I think, and this is bearing in mind pure speculation fed by experience alone, is that I think Negan had such an impact in popular culture the way that he did because he was attacking the characters the audiences were vested. I didn't want to see Glenn die. I didn't want to see Abraham get hurt because
I did.
By the time you didn't like Abraham.
I didn't, but he started to grow on me, and then I think most people had that. Right, so I sat there and watched this scene, and I know someone's going to die because it's been spoiled, and obviously someone has to die.
Spoiler alert, we're going into some major Walking Dead spoiler territory.
When he's there with a bat and he's pointing people, the moment he pointed it at Rick, the moment he pointed it at Daryl, it's like, don't you dare! Yeah. Don't you dare! Norman Reedus, slightly going off Walking Dead, but Norman Reedus is quite big now in culture and everything.
I know someone who's met him. Just put it out there, but carry on.
Because of this game coming out with Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Have you seen... I don't think you would have... A comment Hideo Kojima made. It's called Death Stranding, the game. It's a weird one. Have you ever seen the trailer?
I don't think I have, no.
I'll have to send it... Basically, Hideo Kojima has got Norman Reedus in it, and who played Hannibal?
Anthony Hopkins?
No. Series.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, you know who I mean.
I think so, yeah. I think we're on the same page, folks.
And he's got quite a few other actors in. And Hideo Kojima, man's a genius, made Metal Gear.
Right, fair enough.
Famous split from Konami. So he's announced that this Death Stranding game, or whatever it's called, is going to have a movie mode, which essentially you play the game and it will do the combat for you, and you just walk around. So people that aren't gamers can play it and experience the story. And when he was asked... It was something like, he made a quote, and when he was asked, so what kind of game is it? And he's like, I don't know.
Oh dear.
he doesn't, he's trying to make a new genre of game, so he doesn't know what to call it yet, basically. But some people took that as you know, someone says a comic and it spirals out, and some people have taken it as, well, he doesn't even know what he's making.
Well, spoiler alert, going back into the conversation ever so slightly, what I was going to say about Walking Dead is I have just Sorry, better. I have just seen season 10, the trailer, and I'm not going to lie to you. I found it quite disappointing. Like, there was nothing. Basically, what I'm trying to get at, throughout the trailer, there was nothing grabbing me. There was one particular scene, and it looked like, spoiler alert, so pause it whenever you want. Give those people a chance to pause it. Right. The scene I'm referencing in the particular trailer was, it looks like potentially, now I don't know if it's just a trick to catch the audience's attention, but it looked like potentially this season, whether it be early or later on, suffice it to say I don't know, but Norman Reedus' Daryl might go toe-to-toe with Negan finally. Which apparently it never happened before. Them two never confronted each other. Characters. Every time Negan confronted Daryl, he was always outnumbered. Specifically speaking, he's Daryl, innit?
Yeah.
I always got him mixed up with his brother.
Interesting thing about Daryl in the comics is he doesn't exist.
He doesn't, does
no,
he?
He was made up for this, which is an interesting one because.
He's one of the most loved, isn't he?
Yeah,
the most beloved.
Well, there were famously T-shirts. If Daryl dies, if Daryl dies, we riot.
Yeah.
Now, interesting thing about Walking Dead is it's getting less and less about zombies. And do you want to know why?
Go on.
If you go back and look at the zombies in season 1, and you go back and look at the zombies now, zombies age and die. They only live for about 6 months in the Walking Dead universe, 6 to 9 months.
Wow. I didn't know any of this.
The science behind it is, when you die, your brain still fires for a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
So, all this is, the virus keeps it alive, so your entire nervous system is alive, and it's just base instincts telling you need to move, you need to eat, you need to whatever. So the zombies' bodies are decaying, but the nerves are keeping them firing, and the brain can control it. So if you see the zombies in season 1, they look just like people with a couple of cuts and scratches.
Right.
You look at the zombies in new seasons, they're nearly skeletons, so you see less and less.
So, in the Walking Dead universe, I mean, so you seem, as usual, quite well better versed in this.
I've got some of the comics.
So, what in the comic books? We'll try and go strictly off that.
Comics are in wrong
Are the
orders.
zombies dying?
It becomes more and more about the people and less about the zombies, same as the series is going.
Right.
But also the comics have people dying in the series to do the Game of Thrones and the American Gods thing, because the original writer is still alive and has control behind it. He's the story that all the fans know is being jumbled.
Because Walking Dead is quite interesting. Many people probably disagree with this statement, but it's quite a political show. It does show political intrigue from time to time.
It does, and
which is quite phenomenal. Because
just...
you look at the first few seasons, it was just purely about survival, wasn't it?
And well, it was about a man trying to find his family, and it also shows the importance that America is absolutely screwed unless you've got someone from Essex doing a British accent. I'm not saying that Americans need to be led by a British person, but The Walking Dead shows.
We just lost half our subscribers.
For those that don't know, Rick from The Walking Dead is actually from Essex.
Right.
And
I know
so when
that.
he walks around set and people, it's the same with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
When people meet them in public and they're like, oh, hi, how are you? In that Essex or Yorkshire or whatever accent. So people are taken back. You know, because he's like a proper Essex boy, isn't he?
Not the producer. I don't know if you know this. I think it was the producer. Interesting. Didn't know when Hugh Laurie sent his...
yes.
What is it? What do they call them? When they send you a clip? An audition. Can't believe I couldn't find that word. When Hugh Laurie sent his audition off to play the main cast House, which obviously we all know he eventually got the role.
Yeah, because House is supposed to be Sherlock Holmes.
The producer didn't know he was British. He did that much of a convincing American accent, everybody.
In the toilet, mind you.
In the toilet. See, I didn't even know that. But that is quite bizarre because Hugh Laurie is such a household name over here.
Yeah,
so
but
he probably is now because of House.
I know more about this because apparently... the producer, director, whoever, wanted to hire someone, and he actually downright turned down any British roles, because for those that don't know, House is Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He's Holmes. He's House. Yeah. So Hugh Laurie did this audition while in the toilet, looking really scruffy. Have you seen the original audition?
I think once, very, very
And
briefly.
he did an American accent so convincing that the producer, director, whoever it was, apparently, after seeing it, stood up and said, now this is what I want. A real American for this role. Imagine his face after giving him that when Hugh Laurie walks in. In my head, he does the Blackadder. What ho? No.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
How are you, jolly old chap? You know,
Yeah.
I really wanted that.
Oh, but as harsh as it sounds, as much as I'm thankful for the producer for giving me a house, I bet that humbled him. If he made that statement to realise this man who did such a brilliant audition is British,
Yeah.
for him to come out and say that as well. So I bet that was a bit of salt in the wound.
I can imagine it would be, can you? Like,
Yeah.
a proper American. But the thing is, imagine all these little interns and camera people looking around like, he does know Hugh Laurie was in Blackadder, right? Should we go tell him?
We only want an American guy for great old Uncle Sam.
Who is Uncle Sam?
I don't know.
Where does that even come
I
from?
don't know. Oh, I don't know. Do you want to cut that bit out? That
I
side of
can,
the
but I
world?
won't.
Oh no. Oh wow.
Man. But yeah, shall we talk about my idea for a minute?
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
please do. I've got another idea as well, but I'll let you.
Well, no, you go first because mine's already been said and I haven't heard yours.
No, well, the listeners haven't heard.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a good point. Right, so basically, my idea, I was told after last week, I think it was, that maybe we need, which I've gotten, funnily enough, quite a few comments, and so have you, that last week was our best one ever, because we just sort of jump around, and that's normally how we are, so that's what we're just going to do.
Yeah.
There is no script. But anyway, it was said to me that maybe we need some sort of segment, something that is always there. So what I want to do is basically, Irvine's going to put it on his Facebook, or...
On my Facebook. I don't know why I did that, but go.
I think we've had too much caffeine. But yeah, a segment. If what we want to do is basically, if you have any favourite games or movies from before...
That was my attempt at a voice. I got it. It panned out terribly. Carry on, Koala.
If you have any favourite games or movies before the Xbox One PS4 era, just put them in like a comment underneath whatever he says, or in the comments underneath this video on Facebook, and if we have them or can pick them up cheaply, we will look into them and tell basically our thoughts on, has it aged well? Is it actually any good? Or do your opinions matter?
Oh, no.
But no. Has it aged well?
Yeah.
Would it have done better now if it didn't do, like, if it's obscure in your favourite game or something, please let us know, because I love broadening my horizons with games and movies.
Yeah.
So if you've got... I mean, particularly, I'm more interested in the game, and you'll be more interested in the movie. But we'll just talk about it for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anyone has a suggestion,
yeah,
that you would like us to see, yeah,
we will give it our personal 10 out of 10, 5
by
out of 5.
all means. And it could get it potentially interesting, putting into consideration that mine and Koala, or Tom, I think he prefers to be called, our opinion tends to differ now and again. So it'll be interesting what we. You might enjoy something more than I will. You probably will, like someone suggested. So, yeah. So I think it's a good, solid suggestion.
I don't know about you, but I like them. If you play a game or watch a movie, and you've sort of someone recommends it to you, it's not something you normally watch, and it's a right hidden gem. You end up really liking it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have another idea as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it more on my Facebook page. I think this is more towards people who know me more on a more personal basis. But if anyone wants to add me, feel free.
If you're about to make a joke about you will try bacon sandwiches from anyone and rate them 10 out of 10.
No.
Because can we just go back to last week? Now Dave did,
ladies and gentlemen, of
send
the
me
jury,
a friend request on Facebook.
He did, I believe so.
Yes.
No
bacon sandwiches yet. I'm not that bothered.
No.
Not bitter or anything.
He hasn't stopped going on about this bacon sandwich. But no, yes, I have a suggestion, an idea to make. Those who know me on a personal basis on Facebook, now, a spoiler alert, this is going to be talking about Game of Thrones. So for those who are not up to date on their Game of Thrones, do you want me to talk about this? Because I know you're not up to date. I'm not going to spoil anything.
I'm not actually bothered because it's already been spoiled, and I went off Game of Thrones about season 4.
Okay, understandably so. What season did you say you got put off, did you say?
I didn't get put off, I just stopped watching it season 4.
Season 4, right. Now, for those who are up to date and had a chance to pause this particular episode, because they don't want to get a Game of Thrones.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
skip 2 minutes. Basically, the suggestion is, now there was a lot of backlash in the last season of Game of Thrones.
I'll say.
So, even though this isn't exactly an original idea, but
I got a dragon.
But I'm quite confident in my writing abilities. So for those who know me on a personal basis, for the next week or so, and I'll obviously by the time I'm with Koala again, it will be done. Every day of next week, I'm going to rewrite every single episode of the last season and show people what I personally would have done differently. For those who are up to date,
that is a lot of work.
I feel confident in this. All I'm going to do is I'm not going to write the entire episode, but I'm probably going to write pointers how I would have done certain scenes differently, the dialogue maybe to a certain extent. But I'm going to rewrite each episode of the day of the week. So if anyone's interested, please feel free to look up my Facebook. So the reason why I'm doing this is, like I previously stated, I'm not the first person to do this. If you go on YouTube, a lot of people have done what they would have done differently. So this isn't an original idea. George R. R. Martin will probably hate me because he hates fan fiction. But then again, he hated season 8 of Game of Thrones. So
he did, and George R. R.
So it's the lesser of two evils, George.
So, yeah, Georgie boy, I know you're listening.
Yes, you're probably listening.
George R. R. Martin, despite stealing the famous RRs of another classic fiction writer.
Who are you on about? No, I'm messing, of course I know. Are you referencing Tolkien?
Yeah.
Okay, just so we're on the same page here.
He's on my radar at the minute because he's doing... have you ever heard of the game franchise series Dark Souls?
He's writing some of it, isn't he?
He's
I
writing
believe.
the new one with the actual creator of Dark Souls, who said he would never do it again. He's writing... It's a new game called Elden Ring. We don't know too much about it, just that it's maybe set in Norse mythology.
Right.
And so George R., as much as I didn't like some of Game of Thrones, what I did appreciate of Game of Thrones was Martin can build a world. Or
he certainly
he
can,
has, yeah. I mean, world building in books, movies, games, whatever, is so important. Like do you know what one of my favourite movies world building is?
I don't know.
Demolition Man.
See, I've got a soft spot for Demolition Man.
I do. It's one of my favourite, but
yeah.
Think about they have 1 hour in that movie, give or take. And remember, movies over the years, they've gotten longer and longer.
Yeah.
So they have what? An hour and a bit?
Yeah.
You know everything about that world.
Yeah. No,
you
do.
You know that there was a war. You know
yeah.
so much about that world just through world building, seeing the background. And interesting fact, I actually know about Demolition Man.
Yeah.
You know his daughter?
Are we on about the same film?
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
When he's in the car with...
Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, when Sylvester Stallone's in the car with Sandra Bullock and he's like, I can't imagine my daughter growing up like this. And she's like, oh, well, I can probably find her records in the Schwarzenegger archives. And he's like, Jesus, he's got his own archive. Do you remember that joke?
I do,
and then
yeah.
Sandra Bullock's character, Huxley, is like, well, I can do a quick search or minor use of police or misuse of police powers, but I can find your daughter, see if she's still alive. And then he's like, no, I can't imagine her growing up in a world like this. Yeah. And the popular fan theory was that maybe Huxley was his daughter, which is all kinds of wrong.
Yeah.
Especially the ending movie.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who his daughter actually is in that movie?
No, I don't.
His daughter is actually in that movie.
Really?
She has like maybe a 5-second cameo.
So he was sure.
You know when all the sewer people come out and you've got the leader talking? She's one of them extras, and there was actually a scene where her and Sylvester Stallone meet, but it was removed. But it was actually gone into in a comics made by, to tie into the movie, made by DC. And it actually says who she is, and the movie, that I think a couple of years after the movie, was like, no, look, there she is. The directors, we just didn't do anything with it. So yeah, his daughter lives under the city.
So there was like a resistance, weren't there? The people who lived in the sewers?
What would you call them? They are a resistance. Or they just...
I haven't seen the film many years, which is an awful shame. I do really need to watch it
I watched
again.
it not too long ago just because Wesley Snipes. It was
Yeah.
before he turned into a
Wesley
massive
Snipes, man.
dickhead.
That was so bizarre then, and I'll tell you what, I was just going to praise him for his role in the film, and you went dickhead like that. Yes, he did sort of 180, didn't he?
Yeah,
It was,
I mean, I think he's better now, but it's like the famous scene in Blade Trilogy.
yeah.
Like, Ryan Reynolds refuses to ever work with him again, and
I
so do
believe
most
so.
people.
I've heard about
And
that.
on the set of like Blade Trinity, he was stoned in the famous ending scene.
Yeah,
Which do I need to go into?
I can't remember. I remember being.
All
I
right,
was briefly a big fan of Blade.
After this, I will show you the actual clip. You know where Drake dies
Yeah.
and turns into Blade, and then he's on the table, and the eyes open.
Yeah. Don't tell me they like bloodshot eyes.
Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes, so they paid an extra it's 10 to 100 grand to CGI his eyes opening, and they look terrible. If you watch that clip now, knowing they're CGI eyes, for anyone that doesn't know, watch the last scene of Blade Trinity when Wesley Snipes' body is on the table and the eyes open. Wesley Snipes refused to open his eyes, so they CGI'd eyes opening.
There's quite a few known actors, isn't there?
He used to leave post-it notes around set from Blade because he wouldn't leave his trailer in a day.
There's quite a few actors, isn't there, that's meant to be an handful. The one I can think of off the top of my head, Mel Gibson, was meant to be...
yeah, he was meant to be not very nice. And
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's a method actor, though, same as Joaquin Phoenix. So
Right.
I can forgive them for that because they are trying to be that character, but at the same point, it's a little bit not right.
He went... I
Too
don't want to
far.
say too much because I might have been given misinformation, but what I have been told by fairly reliable sources is that Jared Leto was sending not nice posts to his colleagues, and he was doing exhibiting strange behaviour that was making his crewmates uncomfortable. Which, don't get me wrong, I can understand trying to do certain things that you wouldn't normally do for the role of the actor, because that's what pretty much method acting is. But I do think there's a line, and if you're making your workmates uncomfortable, then it's a poor do. Tell me if I've got a wrong opinion there.
Look how bad that looks.
Yeah, that looks pretty bad.
I've just shown him the Blade CGI, so he refused to open his eyes, so that cost the movie.
Yeah, you can tell that's just... that's like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound, mate. It's
but
just,
no, who else?
Just
Well, there's
slapping
stories.
it on.
There were stories Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey during that Batman film. Because Tommy Lee Jones was apparently really, really rude to Jim Carrey because he doesn't appreciate slapstick humour and that kind of thing.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm backing Jim Carrey up on this. Like,
Yeah,
if Tommy
I would.
Lee, sorry to cut you off there. If Tommy Lee Jones doesn't do slapstick humour, I'm sorry. What was he doing in that film then? Because that film was humorous at best,
apparently,
intentionally humorous.
As far as I know, the story goes that Jim Carrey was in the same restaurant as Tommy Lee Jones, and Jim Carrey just stood up, walked over, and he was like,
he wanted
to shake his hands.
He walked up Tommy Lee Jones, everybody, and he was prepared to shake his hand. He didn't want to know, did he?
Tommy Lee Jones, no. And he was playing and if anyone has seen that movie, he was playing Two-Face in that movie, and it was the campest Two-Face I've ever seen.
Yeah. So for him to say, "Well, I don't like slapstick humour," you're playing you're playing a role arguably the most flamboyantly ever seen. No, I'm sorry.
Even the director didn't get on with Tommy Lee Jones in that movie just because he was so averse to thingy.
Why decide to do that role then?
I don't know. Well, it's like Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
He said for Endgame they had to get someone else to play the Red Skull. He wouldn't come back.
Why not?
So he's not actually bitter or anything.
I love Hugo Weaving as well, so this is bizarre for me.
So Hugo Weaving, when he played the Red Skull, he was out of his comfort zone. He just wanted to do a superhero movie. So he tried it, and then when they asked him to come back, he was like, "Look, I tried it. Don't want to do it again." Fair enough, you're out of your comfort zone.
At least he's being honest.
Maybe he doesn't want to do nerdy movies, Elron.
Oh!
Megatron.
Agent Smith. I mean, Matrix is a part of nerd culture now, isn't it? It's,
so is Transformers.
Is he the one, and correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, that I could have swore I heard somewhere in the back, not that long ago actually, that when Hugo Weaving first got approached with the role of Smith, I might be mistaken because it might have been someone else, but I'm sure it was him though who apparently read the script and said he found the film humorous, the concept of the film humorous.
I think so.
Something along them lines.
There was someone that got a comic book script for one of these Marvel movies, which now I bet they're kicking themselves because they do billions. And someone shit all over it. It might. There was something with Tom Cruise. For those that don't know, Tom Cruise was the original peg for being Tony Stark. And he turned it down, and it was something like he said, these movies will go nowhere. Well, guess what, Tom?
Yeah, Tommy boy.
I don't like Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise in 2 movies, maybe.
I do and I don't. He has been in a lot of good films. And
I like
to be
The Last
fair,
Samurai.
It's been years since I saw
Yeah.
that.
I did like that Night and Day.
Years since I saw that as well. It's gotta be.
What else
I haven't
did
seen
he
him in a film, to be honest with you. He did a good job. I know it's not globally recognised that much as compared to the others he's been in, but Valkyrie is a particular favourite of mine. No, Koala is pulling his face.
Good film, but do you know my problem with that?
Go on.
Is that if you watch that movie, he looks like he's the worst spy in the world.
I'm not a huge fan of the film, but I do like his role in the film
because everyone else in the film is doing like a German accent or speaking German, and he walks in and he doesn't even do an accent. He's doing his American accent to sometimes Hitler himself.
Yeah.
And it's like, is no one else going to question this in the movie? Like, he's American, shoot him. He must be a spy.
Yeah, but if you're going to question the authenticity on accents in film, Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, you're telling me that was an English accent?
Whoa, now Nottingham is a real place. But then when it comes to war films, because obviously you like war films, I like war films.
To a degree, yeah.
I watched, maybe about a year ago, with my girlfriend, I watched Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
That's a film directed by Mel Gibson. Have you ever seen it?
It rings a bell.
Hugo Weaving's in it, actually.
I think I have, but yeah.
The boy who joined the military as a medic and he refused to carry a gun.
Yes.
You've seen it?
Yes.
And after the movie, it's got interviews with the actual man.
Yes.
Before he died.
Yeah.
Man,
I have seen
that movie. Oh, Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. I don't know why I laughed as soon as you said that, but it
was Inglourious Bastards a Quentin Tarantino movie?
Definitely, yeah. You can tell anyway, but yeah, but I did confirm it. Yeah, it's a Tarantino film.
And Fury. We've had some cracking war movies over the past couple of years.
Definitely.
Have you seen Fury?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I've got to be honest.
Fury is normally I wouldn't watch war movies, but my parents were like, it's a really good movie, and it's who is it? Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, and he's, you know the premise of the movie. I think it's based on a true story. Basically, it's a tank crew, and in a tank you've got like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
And all the other tanks die or get destroyed, so it's one tank left, and they have to defend a bridge, and that is the entire premise of the movie.
Yeah.
They've just got to hold back literally an army of dudes with one tank and like 4 or 5 guys. And it's such a good movie. A lot more goes on. But
I used to watch a lot of war films when I was younger. I don't really watch them anymore. I'm not going
like
to
the
lie
Dam
to you.
Busters.
But yeah, I used to.
Westerns tried to come back not too long ago, didn't they?
Yeah,
and
no, I remember growing up because my dad had a lot of tapes. Yeah, we're going back to those days, everybody.
For those that don't know, tapes were these big plastic things that.
VHS. You'll know what VHS is.
You either watched them or you built cities out of them and you pretended you were a giant.
But anyway, no. I had a phase through my, I want to say, mid to late teenage years when I was just into war films. And one of them, I'm not even sure everyone will know, it was a film called Sink the Bismarck.
No, don't
You
know.
never heard that? It's a very... I think it was made in the like 60s, but it was basically, obviously, World War II, when the Germans had one of the biggest ships they ever made in the Navy. And it was basically the film exploded. They were trying to sink this ship called the Bismarck, and it took about 3 hours in the film to sink it. Good film. Not in real life, but the film was like 3 hours long. So,
All right.
yeah.
Have you noticed that over time movies are getting longer and longer?
Yeah, you made a passing comment earlier on about that. See, I've got to agree to disagree with you,
Well,
and
back,
I'll tell you
back
why.
in the day, movies were...
Look at films like Ben-Hur. How long is that? And a lot of the films in the 40s to 50s, they're like 3 hours long.
Yeah, and then we got to this point where movies
Spartacus, 3 hours long. The very first Spartacus is 3 hours long.
But then you get to this point where movies were like an hour, 20 minutes long. Maybe.
Yeah, we went through a phase, didn't we?
And now,
yeah,
you go to the thing and you're getting... It's like movies, games are getting way too long.
Yeah.
For me, like 4 hours sitting on my ass doing nothing while I'm in the cinema, that's a bit long. 4 hours sitting on my ass at home doing nothing. Well, that's what I normally do, but making me go out to do it.
Yeah. No, it's I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's one of them I haven't really thought about. I remember when Endgame came out at the cinemas, and it was like, wow, that's long, because I remember it being 3 hours long. It doesn't feel like 3 hours. I only recently just watched Endgame. You alright? You look like you're in pain.
Yeah, just thing with my ear. Anyway.
Oh, right, yeah. No, yeah, when I looked at Endgame, when I first watched it, and obviously it shows how many minutes it is. It was 3 hours long, and it doesn't feel like 3 hours when you sit and watch Endgame. Depends on how much you enjoy it. I enjoy it significantly. You don't. Now, we're amongst controversial waters here,
Let's not go into that.
Oh, I think we should.
Oh, fine.
I think we should.
I enjoyed Endgame when I went to see it. I've seen it twice.
You gave a passing comment in one of the last episodes, but I'd like to go into some detail.
The second time I watched it with more open eyes, and basically the entire movie is just fan service. And when it came to the last fight, now the last fight for me, I first watched, it's awesome, comic book, full nerd.
Yeah.
Then I watched it and realised, clever, but everyone that could step to Thanos has been writ out the story. Major spoiler alerts. Major
spoiler alert. So if you want to if you have not seen Endgame, get off this now.
Skip to 40 minutes.
Yeah, I would say 43 minutes just to be on the safe side.
Well, I'd say 40. But basically, Doctor Strange, who when Thanos had nearly all the gems in Infinity War, posed a real threat. Like, that was probably one of the biggest fights in Infinity War, weren't it? Doctor Strange versus Thanos, and Thanos nearly got his ass handed to him.
He did. To be fair, in my opinion,
and don't forget,
in
with
Infinity
Doctor Strange,
War, Doctor Strange should have won that.
Don't forget, Doctor Strange is way old. He's nearly as old as Thor, and Thor is 1,500 years old. Because Groundhog Day, he was in a dimension with no time, where he didn't age, in a time loop, to the point where he was there long enough nearly to master every spell that he already knew.
Wow.
And he didn't age, so no one actually knows how long he was in there.
Yeah.
But the Russo brothers that directed it say, well, how long was he really in that dimension?
Do you know what that's reminded me of? That I know we're going off a tangent, but go on.
Get back.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange, last fight, he could have. Now Thanos had no gems at this point in this last fight.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange could have wiped the floor with him.
Yeah.
River breaks. Doctor Strange has to go and hide somewhere, and literally, like the movie says, when the Ancient One says to him in his own movie, you can't beat a river into submission. Check. Done. Right?
Yeah.
So, Doctor Strange, who could take Thanos, out. Hulk got injured by the snap. Who could? Thanos has no gems. He doesn't have the power gem, which makes him stronger. Hulk could, with the help of maybe some other people, take out Thanos. He's injured and he's stuck somewhere else. So, that's Hulk, Doctor Strange, two people that could take him out.
Right, yeah.
So, in my opinion, that last fight, everyone that could have single-handedly taken out Thanos is taken out the fight. 4, they made him, they gave him the dad bod. Like, he is now the, like, I do love it, but he is a lot weaker than he was at the end of Infinity War. Because in Infinity War, he shows up, he wipes out nearly a whole army by himself and throws an axe in him. Like, 4 is depowered because it's like his powers are linked to his physical fitness.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's the same as Magneto, isn't it? But anyway, that's not the point. You've got Iron Man, who seems to be quite knackered in that fight.
Yeah, he got his ass handed to him.
Yeah, like, so if you look at it from that point, anyone that could take out Thanos is keeping away from the fight. Scarlet Witch by herself could have taken out Thanos when he has no gems.
Right.
She nearly pushed Vision in Civil War to the core of the planet.
Yeah.
Like, look at it that way. Anyone that could single-handedly take out Thanos in that fight has to go and do something else. That's why I don't like it. Just because that last fight just went on. I mean, it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Like, seeing, like, Captain America with the hammer throw it, Thor catch it, throw it. You know, they bounce off each other.
Yeah.
The big three. I just didn't like that they writ things that... It was almost like lazy writing. And Captain Marvel came in, blew up one of the biggest ships we've ever seen in Marvel.
She was a bit of a Mary Sue, wasn't
and
she?
And then was immediately backhanded through a wall and we didn't see her again when they try and pull off the gauntlet. Spider-Man cries when at that scene when Tony Stark, which admittedly I tear up because I love Iron Man.
Yeah.
Did you notice who pulled Spider-Man off of Tony Stark's corpse?
Go on.
Tony Stark's own goddamn wife, who wasn't crying.
Do you know what though? That scene's actually realistic. I'm sorry, right?
That is like
love
his father
that
figure.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you. Pepper Potts. Ned Stark's wife.
Yeah.
I never liked
Ned Stark.
Not Ned Stark. Fucking hell.
Thanos.
Tony Stark. Tony Stark's wife. Everybody. Winter is coming, Thanos. No, but anyway.
Sean Bean taking up Thanos. You definitely know he would die. Okay. Right.
No. Anyway, Tony Stark, when he took on Thanos, when he died, there's actually a deleted scene that I want to bring up as well, that many people who are listening to this probably don't know. But anyway, when Pepper Potts takes Spider-Man away from Tony Stark's corpse, I think that's realistic because they always portrayed Miss Potts as a strong woman. I like that. So she's not going to burst out crying at the seams right there and then, is she? No. So it's going to take a lot for it to sink in. Because when someone's just died, you don't burst out crying there and then. Some people do, like Peter Parker's Spider-Man did.
Yeah, but he's
it
very
showed.
Emotional.
I think it showed as well that people grieve in different ways. And that's what the premise of the film was about. It was about grieving, a lot of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that theme going on. And it even subtleties there. That even in the earliest stages of grief, when you've just become aware of someone's death, you grieve in different ways. If me and Koala, for instance, just saw a body of someone we both happen to care about, the way we will react, I assure you, will be two completely different things. Yeah. So... yeah, I think I personally think that was a good scene anyway, but because I think it showed that that's my interpretation of it, but it showed that people interpret grief in different ways. That was a bit of a lecture, that, but yeah.
But I mean, we've hit the 43, so
we better stop talking about it.
Anyone that's come back after skipping the
Hello.
time and said, "Hi, where have you been?" We totally haven't been bad mouthing
you. Please, if you've gone to the 43 mark, just skip another 6 seconds because I wanted to bring this up. I'll let you skip it again. Yeah, what I wanted to talk about as well, Tony Stark, there was a deleted scene that everyone knelt down to his body. And I don't know why they got rid of that.
I think it would be in the director's cut.
Oh, yeah, because even Star-Lord and Nebula knelt down.
Yeah, but he was on that planet with them, but I don't know.
Do you reckon they should have got rid of that?
It was a good movie, but if I was writing the movie... well, we'll talk about it next time. Yeah. But, anyway. Jesus Christ, it's been nearly 45 minutes.
Doesn't feel it, does it?
No, I think, right. Now, this is just me tooting my own horn here, but toot. I think we're actually starting to get the hang of this.
I think so. I mean, this
Like-
is what, our 4th episode, our third
official, fourth. Like, for anyone that wants to listen
recording.
to all of it, avoid the pilot. It's very cringy if you listen back to it now. Oh,
No,
that reminds me.
go on.
As far as I know, there's been some slight news in Spider-Man. There is actually a deal on the table between Marvel, Disney, and Sony. No one knows quite what, but
So does that mean Spider-Man could return to the MCU?
he could possibly.
Bam, 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 bam. Sorry, I nerded out.
He could possibly, but I think Sony, the deal includes Venom.
Really? Oh, that would be immense. Imagine Venom being in the MCU, the stuff they could do with that.
Yeah, that Venom movie, I do appreciate.
I didn't know there was a Venom movie. See how my mind works when something is just utter bollocks. I pretend it doesn't exist.
Venom was good.
Was it though?
I went,
liked. Don't get me. Sorry to cut you off there. I love Tom Hardy. Don't get me wrong.
I
He's been
went
in
to
some
watch
good
that
roles.
movie with my girlfriend, and we both walked out smiling because it was great. The bromance between Venom. It's a romantic movie between Venom and Eddie.
Some good concepts going on there, but
It wasn't a great movie, but I enjoyed it. I had a smile on my face for the whole movie, especially like when his body is just becoming used to the parasite, and I can't say parasite. Is that derogatory towards Venom? Are we
No,
gonna get our brains eaten?
I think Venom enjoys a parasitic relationship.
Symbiotic.
Parasitic. But yeah. You say tomato, I say tomato. It is.
When they're in that
it is
restaurant
symbiotic.
and he gets in the tank and he just grabs food because he can't control it. He eats it. And, this is dead. This
Yeah.
is dead.
It wasn't a bad film. I think what did
It
it
was-
for me when someone said to me, right? I think what it is with me how I enjoy something. I don't know if it's just my mind works, because I don't know if this is my autism coming into play here, but all it takes is a piece of information, and I try not to let it judge the entirety of the work. But sadly, it does happen like that in my mind. So I remember because I saw Venom at the cinema. I remember on the way to the cinema, and someone said, "Oh, it's not part of the MCU. This film, it's in its own separate universe."
Yeah.
And because I knew at the back of my head that it wasn't going to be part of the MCU, it put a dampener on it for me.
Right. See, this is a plan that.
Because I didn't know about the
enjoyed.
So, bearing in mind at the time, the
but
Sony relationship with Marvel. I didn't know any.
I
of this at the
enjoyed
time.
this movie because it wasn't part of the MCU.
It was his
Also,
own thing, which isn't necessarily a
It's
bad
part
thing.
of or I don't know if the plan is still that, but there was a plan to make all of the darker parts of Marvel as their own universe. Like Venom is thing. The next one coming out is Jared Leto as Morbius,
Yeah.
the vampire. So you've got all these darker Marvel entities and villains that you can't put in the MCU because they do horrific shit. But
yeah.
they are, their own thing, and it could be really well. But also, when it comes to Venom, and I implore anyone to do this, name me one superhero origin movie that is actually really good. I'll wait.
You want listeners, please be aware of how confident Koala or Tom is with his facial expression when he just came out with that bold statement. And
Well,
that
you
bold,
name when is the origin movie better than like all the sequels? I mean, everyone will say, yeah, but Iron Man was really good. Yeah, but you go and watch it back now, is it?
Yeah,
It's not amazing.
I think it was.
Iron Man is one of my favourite superheroes, and it's a good movie, but it's not amazing compared to later things with Iron Man in.
Right.
So give
yeah,
Tom
I
Hardy
get where
a
you're coming
chance.
from, but films are going. If you're going to look at it from that perspective, anyway, films are going to
Evolve and
improve
shit,
and
yeah.
evolve anyway. So
Well, it
you
depends
can't
on-
really judge it on that basis.
Depends
can
on
you?
the franchise, Godfather.
Oh dear, but I don't know. I still enjoy. I haven't seen it for years, admittingly, but I still think it holds up pretty well.
It does and it doesn't.
Iron Man
It-
2 doesn't, but I'll get to that later.
It's a good movie. It
Yeah.
is, and it started the whole MCU, but it's very safe. Evil, good, bad. But also,
Well, yeah, but it's gonna be though.
Iron
If you're
Man-
starting something.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Now, Iron Man 3 was not the movie I or many fans wanted because
Yeah.
it was supposed to be extremist and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 has my favourite scene in the entire MCU in.
Go on.
Right, so in comic books, cartoons, anything, you see Iron Man, he has suitcase.
Right, yeah.
Mark 5 Iron Man armor in the movie. that scene where he's kicked the suitcase, he stands on it, he's in the racetrack, and the armor boots on. I will, no one fight me on this, because I'm right. That is the coolest Iron Man suit up there is.
It is pretty up there.
Like,
it is pretty up
alright,
there.
yeah, you've got the nanotech ones later, but it still doesn't match the same thing as
When you said, though, going back in the conversation ever so slightly, when you feel as a fan, the first Iron Man film you felt played too safe, I think...
It's not played too safe. It's just an origin movie just needs to give you a feel of the character and show you how it starts, and then they can start moving on to the big things and improve.
Yeah,
so
well, that's all
people that
storyline
badmouth
telling,
the Venom movie, it wasn't a terrible... I've seen much worse superhero movies.
Is Venom a superhero, though?
Well,
I mean to say...
Right. Venom is an anti-hero, and I do want to talk about this because I've been wrestling with this idea for quite a while. What is the difference between an anti-hero and a villain?
Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think a villain who evolves, I want to say.
Well, you've got people like Deadpool, the Punisher, Venom. These are... I mean, Venom started off as a villain.
And even to a certain extent. So
Spike,
in wrestling even, they use him. Stone Cold Steve Austin could be considered an anti-hero.
But the thing is,
go on.
When you've got, in a universe, you've got villains that don't enjoy what they do, but they do it because they feel they have to and they need to.
Yeah.
I would consider... do they count because they're doing the right thing for the wrong reasons? Maybe someone like that is a hero.
Go on.
They don't enjoy what they do. And then you have someone like the Punisher who's quite happy to kick down a door and physically hurt people with a smile on his face.
If you're trying to define anti-hero in its most simplest form,
Riddick?
I think it's someone who, a fictional character, or in real life potentially, is someone who wants to do the right thing at heart, but has villainous traits.
Or the wrong way of going about it.
Doesn't have your typical hero qualities.
Alright, the Deadpool movie's done really well, but he does horrific shit to these people. In the first movie, he splatters a guy on a sign, and we laugh about it. And then you realise, this is just...
Yeah.
The henchmen don't necessarily... They might not be evil. They might just be out of work, ex-service people, and that's the only job they can get. You think about that, Deadpool?
Have you got a thing against Deadpool?
No, Deadpool's one of my favourite superheroes ever. I've got comic runs of him, all sorts. But it's an interesting thing that if you think about it, when it comes to the amount of deaths, a lot of these superheroes kill more people than the villains ever do because they go for armies of henchmen.
Fair enough. It's the last 10 minutes of our show. So, to quote your terminology, do you want to wrap up and just talk about future plans or
do you think it's time for the Bomb story?
I genuinely... Do you want me to tell people this, or you?
Oh, you know what? I think we'll save it till next week. They're not ready.
They're not ready. And my phone goes off. But I imagine we'll cut that out. It's Connor. I'll speak to him later. My brother just rung me up. You can keep that part in.
Fine that bit then. Right.
Yeah, so do you want me to tell the
Bomb
story? I think we shall, because it's one.
We're bigging this up like an amazing story, and people are going to hear it, and it's like...
they're going to be so disappointed.
It's like when you show someone how to cut an avocado, and you're like, there's a special way, and they're like...
Right.
And you show them.
There was a classmate, shall we mention his name?
Michael.
Because
that's his name.
That's okay.
I'm fine with naming anyone as long as we don't put their last name.
Okay, so if we mention someone... Right, okay. There was a classmate called Michael who... Safe to say, we enjoyed a boisterous relationship with him.
Safe to say, we wish we were still in contact with him.
Yeah, so if you, by any chance, if we ever hit mainstream media and this Michael comes across this, please, if you know who we are, please remain in contact with us. But anyway, I used to go in class carrying bags of sweets. And my favourite, I used to buy what are called bonbons. Now, I don't know what the American equivalent of these are, but they're very circular sweets,
I think
hard
they still
sweets.
call them bonbons.
They call them
French,
bonbons,
aren't they? So they might.
So probably do, yeah. So anyway, I purchased...
Blue raspberry, to be exact.
I purchased a bag of bonbons.
Blue raspberry, brilliant.
And everyone liked them. And there was we were making double entendres in class because everyone was saying everyone loves sucking Irvine's bonbons. That was the inside joke.
or everyone loves my balls, or things like that. You know, very collegey. And in college, I think, as best I remember, we kind of, without realising it, took turns bringing in sweets.
Yes.
One day it was you, one day it was me. Like,
one week, Michael bought, and I don't think this was intentional, but it came across at one point that he seemed to copy everything I were buying.
well,
And he
people liked them.
bought a bag of bonbons.
Now, he bought proper bonbons.
Yeah, he bought the proper bonbons, but no one seemed to particularly like this flavour, just out of pure coincidence. And I might have made a passing comment in class, everyone loved my bonbons, but no one liked sucking on Michael's bonbons.
And at this point, the room fell quiet, apart from one laugh for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And this was our tutor, Michelle,
Yeah.
who just went bright red and started it's the shoulders. When someone's trying to laugh and the shoulders, they hold it in, the shoulders move. The shoulders. And then from that moment, the room erupted in laughter to the point where it was like hyenas.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
The only person who didn't laugh, I think, was, I think even he laughed towards the end, was Michael.
Yeah, like, for some reason, that small joke, "Ooh, everyone loves my bonbons, no one wants to suck on Michael's." It was just the way he said it was so... Oh, but now you... See?
Oh,
It's not even that great of a story, and
no,
we are in
it's
fits of
just-
laughter.
Yeah, I
Like,
suppose it's one of them. You'd have to have been there. but
Like, it was
wow.
To make our tutor break down was just a highlight.
Unheard of, I think, because I don't think I was ever in that position. But yeah, it was good times.
I
Good
mean,
times.
the tutor, she did love ribbing you occasionally, didn't
Yeah,
she?
oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Rest assured, listeners, you know, the banter I always gave, I got back. So yeah, definitely.
You got back tenfold sometimes.
Oh, definitely.
Well, she was one of the ones that started taking the mick out of your walk, Mr. Penguin.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Yes, because I have apparently, I've never noticed it myself, but no, I have. I have a interesting, unique walk, apparently.
I think it's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
Yeah,
it's
it's gotten
improved
better, I
over the
think.
years. I used to walk, I've
it
got
used
flat
to-
feet.
It used to walk like a penguin. And, yeah, didn't Michelle, at one point, we were walking out the Beacon Centre in Blackburn College, name drop, and she was like, "Come on, I'll race you."
Oh, the cruelty. But yeah, no, it was that type of classroom. It was type of environment, wasn't it? So
Brilliant tutor.
yeah,
One of the best.
definitely. So, is there anything you want to add before we
No, I'm
depart?
just... Thank you for everyone listening, and also, despite our views on, as well as our views on Facebook, I've already told you, but we are actually getting some views on things like Spotify, so
Yes.
which we are on. We're on about 6 different websites, so Anchor, Spotify, Google, something. So yeah, if anyone listens to us on Spotify, maybe also just play this in the background as well.
Yeah, we apparently have certain listeners that do that. So
yeah, so play us in the background on YouTube as well. Am I gonna have to say it?
Do you want me to do it?
Do it right. Look, will you guys listening just press that like button, subscribe, and ding the bell. Maybe leave a comment under the YouTube video or when Irvine puts it up on his Facebook, because I actually do want to know everyone's preferences, or if they've got a favourite game or something, or a movie.
Please like us. Please. Please
Because
make us popular.
I would actually like to give people my thoughts on something that is their favourite.
By all means.
Maybe
yeah.
accidentally shit all over it, but also my opinion is my opinion.
And at the end of the day, if you just enjoy our company, you know, just look at it like that. You want to know our latest content, so subscribe to that, if nothing else.
Yeah, we actually are now really enjoying doing this. So, you know, I want to keep this going.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
So if we can hit 100 views each time,
Yeah.
I'll be happy. We're hitting 60, I'm happy. But
you got to think as well, because I hardly go on the channel these days, only to upload it. It's
me that uploads.
It's got to be at least 55 to 60 separate people. It
Yeah.
has to be.
For those that don't know, just behind the curtain a little bit, we record this, and then it's me that edits and uploads and everything. So, I need a cup that says "World's Greatest Employee."
Absolutely. And of course, I don't think we should forget it's your brother who's
Yeah,
done
my brother
a
has
lot
done
of
the
work
artwork
as well.
So
Again, even though we've already done it, I think we've got to say a big kudos to him. Thank you so much, and we still appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
that's it for this
this
week.
week.
Hope you enjoyed listening to us, and as always, Dancing Bear out. I've been Dancing Bear, your autistic prince,
And I've been Tom Koala. That name's never going to sit right.
See you later.
See you next week.